Hi guys, welcome back to yet another video. If you're new around here, my name is Marcelina. I'm a teen indie author. That means I write and publish and edit my own books. I design my own cover. I do everything myself. I have one book out currently. It's called The Blood That Divides Us. It is a YA mystery romance. Think academic rivals to lovers, true crime podcast, a murder mystery, all of this fun stuff packed into one. It's on Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, Barnes & Noble. All the links are always in the description down below. I do have a book on pre-order right now. You can pre-order it also on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Amazon for the ebook, Barnes & Noble for the paperback. It is called Labeled Innocent, Presumed Dead. Now this one varies a little bit from The Blood That Divides Us. They're both standalones, but in contrast, Labeled Innocent, Presumed Dead is less of a murder mystery and more just like true crime focused. There's multiple cases that the group tackles, and there's found family, there's a love triangle, there's like an FBI secret society, a lipstick killer, lots of betrayals and plot twists, and disability rep, and yes, it's just a fun time altogether. That comes out on Valentine's Day, if I didn't say that already, and you can pre-order now. And if you pre-order, I will also link the form in the description down below. You can fill that out, show proof of purchase that you did in fact pre-order, and I will send you a few goodies, such as character art made by my lovely friend of the two sisters in this book, one of which is the narrator, the other is kind of like an unreliable narrator. And then we have first 3 chapters for free of this book that will get sent to you via a Google Doc, as well as a bonus exclusive chapter that is from a different character's POV, same events as the book, different character. It will not ever be in the book. This is the only time you can read it. So please pre-order. It really supports me. It helps me out a lot, and I appreciate everyone who has thus far. I wanted to talk about some 2026 goals. Now, this is something I've seen so many authors do. I follow a lot of author tubers. Sarah Sutton has done this. Bethany Atazada has done this. I know Katie Wismer usually does this. I just thought it would be something to do because, for one, I do feel like I really have established myself as an author this year. I published what I'm considering my debut early this year in January, but we'll get to that in a second, which really broke me out. I met so many people because of that. Most people who are probably watching this right now has found me within this window. I mean, there are kind of a lot of people who knew me toward the end of 2024, like right before The Blood That Divides Us released, but a lot of people who are now my most consistent supportive fans have found me in 2025. I've done so much. I wrote an entire book. I did a lot, and I feel like it would be kind of nice to highlight that, to document that, but also because this is something I've seen authors do. They record a goals video of themselves, so like just talking about their goals for the new year, usually a few days or a week before the year ends. I'm currently filming this on Tuesday, December 30th. Basically, I'm going to talk about all my goals for 2026, and then what people do that I thought was really cool is then at the end of 2026, so around this time, maybe a little earlier, maybe like more beginning mid-December of next year, 2026, I will film another video of me reacting to this video and then telling y'all, updating y'all if I met those goals or not. So it's kind of like this is kind of a letter to my future self type thing. And I think a large part of why I do this channel is, one, to inspire and help other authors and writers, but also it's personal documentation for myself. And I thought this would be just a really fun thing to kind of look back on, and hopefully it's inspiring to some of you guys. A little disclaimer, I have some pretty big goals, and I also have done some pretty big things. This isn't humanly possible, and I don't really know, but please don't compare yourself to me. Think like, oh my gosh, Marcelina writes so much, or how is she able to pump out so many books so fast, or like, it has taken me so many years to get here. Real ones know, but like there has been a lot of struggles with that. I've been playing around with publishing for years. The Blood That Divides Us is not my first book. I consider it my debut because it's my debut of what I would like to present into the world, and also my debut of this genre. But I did try to publish another book, completely flopped, completely failed, absolutely hate it. Then before that, it's still on Goodreads, but you can't buy it. I wrote it and published it when I was in 5th grade. It was during COVID. I was bored to death. I was 11 years old. So I've been like teetering in this space, tinkering with this kind of thing for years. I'm now 16. Like, this has been 5 years, almost 6 years actually in the making. Like, I've been writing since I was 6. Like, I just have been playing around with this. So don't think that I'm an overnight success. I don't consider myself a success. I don't know what I'm talking about. But like, the point is, like, I have worked so hard to get here. Each and every one of you, your dreams will come true one day. I promise you. This is just, again, a little bit of documentation for me, a little bit of like storing memories, but then also hopefully just proving to people like, hey, if you're a teenager like me, this is possible. This is entirely possible to do something like this. I know a lot of authors don't usually share money, but I don't know, I just feel like I have a small enough community on here, and also like I trust you guys, I love you guys. Like, I think we all are in the same boat. A lot of people watching are probably teenagers or younger people. Like, I think don't expect me to be saying that I made $1,000. That's not realistic. I mean, maybe with this release, but I feel like sometimes, I don't want to go on a tangent, I just feel like sometimes people expect self-published authors to be making more than they are. We don't make a lot, honey. Like, I know, for me at least, maybe it seems like I had a good release, and I had a decent release with The Blood That Divides Us, and it seems like, oh my gosh, I have so many comments and people saying they're gonna read it. Like, you know, what I consider good is what I consider good, you know? I'm not disappointed with it. So, with that being said, for 2025, I made a total of $223.52. So my first goal is to get at least 200 sales or make $500, whatever comes first. I don't really know, and that's why if you noticed when I said for my 2025 accomplishments, I said I'd made $223. I didn't say how many sales I got. Like, that's how much I made off of the book, but not how many people read the book. And that is because simply, I don't know. And I will never know, because this book is in Kindle Unlimited, and I would say I've probably gotten, oh my gosh, 50 maybe percent. I would say about 50, maybe even 60% of this 200 has come from KU sales. The way Kindle Unlimited works is that they don't tell you who buys it, because the thing with Kindle Unlimited, if you don't have it, or maybe you do, you'll understand. The thing with that is that you don't like buy a book. You like kind of borrow it. I don't have it, so from what I've heard, you like borrow it and then you could read as many pages as you want, and you could like kind of return it. You could literally just not read it again, and you're not paying for it specifically because you're paying for the subscription as a whole. And it kind of calculates that way for authors. It doesn't count as one sale, one person bought the ebook when someone reads it in Kindle Unlimited. It just counts how many pages they read. So you can see how this gets confusing, because let's say 3 people read this book, it'll show 300 pages. That doesn't necessarily mean that all of them read 100 pages. That could literally mean one person read 200 pages, one person read 10 pages, and they didn't like it, so they stopped, and another person read 90 pages. So it's like, it doesn't break it down, so I will never know how many, like, true people read it through Kindle Unlimited, because it doesn't break it down by person. It breaks it down by total pages read by everybody. So it's really hard, and it's too complicated to figure out. But I'm going to try to be a little bit more mindful, I guess, about it this year. And I'm going to try to keep track of how many people have read it. I'm going to try to keep track of specific numbers. I'm going to be checking it more. So if I notice it going up by a certain amount, I'm just going to try to estimate and round to whole numbers and just assume that everyone's reading it, even though they probably won't. But I'm just going to try to be a little bit more detailed about keeping a record of that. Basically, the moral of that goal is that I just want more exposure. I just want to be a little bit more successful. I just want a little bit more exposure and more people to know about my book and actually buy my book. It's really less about the money and just more about people finding my book. Am I getting new readers, or is it just the same readers? Because if I have the same amount of people, if I have 100 sales again, that sort of kind of tells me that's probably the same readers, which I love you guys, but I want to grow my audience. Authors don't become successful because the same 100, 200 people on their social media keeps reading their books. They're successful because they have a breakout moment, because more and more people discover it, because they get new people that tell other people, and now they have 5 new fans, and then they post on their social media, so then they have 1,000 new fans. Like, it's a trickle effect, and I just really want to expand my audience. That's a good goal. I didn't put that on here. That's probably another one that kind of goes under that sales goal, is I want to expand my audience. I want to keep my old readers because I don't want to lose them, but I want to make sure as many people know about me and my books as possible. My next goal is I want to have at least one popular booktuber reviewing and enjoying it. Now, let's see. I don't know how much I want to get into it, but with my last book, I had, I think, 3 reading vlogs on it. So I had a few booktubers review it. I think I had 6 booktubers review it. One of them gave it 4 stars, I believe. 3 out of the 6 of them did reading vlogs for it. none of them gave it higher than a 3-star. But it would just be so cool to have someone I look up to. I have so many booktubers that I watch. I don't have TikTok or Instagram, but so many booktubers that I watch that I enjoy, like, seeing them review my book and, like, enjoying it. That would be insanely incredible to see that, to, like, almost be treated as an equal. And I would love that. I just want, and I think hopefully I'm one step closer to that because I'm reaching out to a lot of booktubers, and I will continue going into 2026 to email a lot of booktubers to give them an arc, to ask if they want to review my book for free in exchange for an honest review, in exchange for them doing this. So I'm kind of like setting it up anyway, so just fingers crossed that it works out, because I do have a couple lined up, but like I swear they're always flakes. I had actually a really big booktuber that I was in talks with for my last book. She was supposed to read it. I think she has like 100K or something on YouTube, and I sent it to her and she never read it, she never reviewed it, she never talked to me again. So I swear, some people are just after free books and then they don't even show a sign that they read it. They don't make good on their promise. It's kind of annoying, but we'll see if it actually pans out. I'll let you know, or maybe if you're subscribed to some of these people, you might see it yourself and be like, oh my gosh, she made it. That's my goal. Okay, the next two kind of sort of go hand in hand, but that is, I want to, 1, get my book in Barnes & Noble stores, and 2, I want to do at least 1 book signing next year. Now, let me explain. If you're like, wait a second, Marcelina, I thought you just said, like, at the beginning of this video that your book is, 1, available at Barnes & Noble, and then your upcoming book is available for pre-order at Barnes & Noble. What do you mean you're trying to get it into Barnes & Noble? Let me explain. When I say my books are on Amazon, they're on Amazon. Amazon's only one thing. They don't have a store. Like, it's just the online website. People know what Amazon is. When I say my books are on Barnes & Noble, I mean the online store. Like, not store, the online website, I guess you could say, like barnesandnoble.com. I mean that if you look up Labeled Innocent, Presumed Dead on barnesandnoble.com, you'll see a page pop up. It will come up. It will say not in stock at your stores, but, like, you could pre-order from it, and then it'll be shipped to your house on release. And then if you look up The Boat That Divides Us on barnesandnoble.com, the website, the page will populate. It'll come up with the blurb and all that good stuff, the cover, and you could order it, and just like ordering anything else online, it'll be shipped to your house. So my books are on the official Barnes & Noble website. They are not in any Barnes & Noble stores at the moment. So I have gotten a few messages and DMs and emails being like, oh, I looked at my Barnes & Noble store, I can't find your book. They said they don't have it. It's because technically I haven't licensed a deal with them yet to carry my book in stores. But, like, I've just set it up to where it's on their website, which makes it a heck of a lot easier to get it in their stores if it's already on their website. So that's like the first step. So basically I just kind of went halfway with it. So my dream would be to actually have my books, like, in the physical stores. Like, I actually just went to Barnes & Noble today. I got the full paperback set of the Inheritance games and the spin-off series. I cannot think of the name for the life of me. I got the paperback. I already read the Inheritance games, but that was on my Kindle. But I haven't read, like, the new Inheritance games spin-off series. Like I said, I forgot what it's called. I've heard mixed reviews on it, but I bought it anyway. So I was just walking around with my mom today, and it was just, like, surreal, because I just got this, not deja vu, this just, like, calling of, like, I want my book to be here. Even if it's just my local one, it's still very crazy. I saw a girl from my school, like, people still go there, so I think that's a start, and then if it's popular, it'll hopefully expand to more and more Barnes & Noble around the country, but getting it, like, into a physical store is definitely on the top of my bucket list, which, again, everything ties back to more exposure, more sales. Like I said, I think it'll be a lot easier for me to get it in there because it is already on their website, so it could be like, hey, it's already on your website, because then it's easier for, like, the managers and, like, the team there, because since it's already on their website, they just have to order from their website. Because Barnes & Noble is not going to want to order my books off of Amazon. Amazon's their competitor, so they're not going to want to purchase anything through there because they don't do that. But they'll want to purchase or work with their website, because that's their website. From what I've been researching, I just need to go in the store one time. I'm thinking once the book is out. I was going to do it today, but, like, the book's not out yet, so I don't think there's much they can do. But, like, when the book releases, I need to actually go to the store. I think there's an email, but I tried the email and no one really responds. So I need to, like, talk to the manager in person at my local store. And then usually if you have your books on the Barnes & Noble website, they'll be pretty accommodating to, like, work out a consignment deal with you. I'll keep you all posted on that. Of course, I'll do vlogs and post updates, so stay tuned. But that's definitely something I'd like. And then with the second one, a book signing. That's why I said this kind of goes hand in hand, because I've heard a lot of authors where if their books do get into Barnes & Noble, Barnes & Noble is super willing to work with them to host a book signing at that specific location of Barnes & Noble, which will be my local one. Local, it's like 30 minutes away, but that's the closest one to me. Even so, I heard of an author who her books are not carried at Barnes & Noble, but you just gotta reach out and they let her do a signing there. And then vice versa. Ooh, I'm scheming here. If you do a book signing with them first, it goes really well, you sell a lot of copies, and then right after you ask them if they could carry it in their stores after you just had a successful signing, they might be more likely to say yes, because you just proved to them like, oh hey, people actually want your book. Okay, this might actually be worth it for us, because they're in it for something. They don't want, no offense, but I'm just thinking like from their perspective, from their, you know, greedy billion-dollar perspective, they don't want to take a chance on some teen indie author book who's going to sell like 6 copies. They don't have money for that. They really don't. They have so many other books that they need to be funding. It requires so much money to ship books, to bring big stocks of, you know, 10, 20, 30, 100 books. They could be spending that money that they're putting into your book into a bigger release, because there's a million other big releases, fiction, nonfiction. You have to prove to them that you're a good investment. So I think doing a book signing with them will help that. And I also just really want the experience. I've seen so much of that. I feel like that'd be so freaking cool. Imagine if I could just meet like one of you guys. That would be crazy. If you live near the Vegas area, or if you're able to come to Las Vegas, keep that in mind. Also, I'm thinking like Los Angeles, like Southern California area, or maybe even Northern California. So like if you live near there too, you know, we might get a chance to meet. But also, even if the Barnes & Noble thing doesn't work out, because again, Barnes & Noble is pretty big, and a lot of the times bigger companies just don't like us young people. They don't like us inexperienced, quote unquote, less known people. They just don't. But you know who likes us, likes these like younger teen self-published authors? Indie bookstores. That's literally in their name. Indie bookstores love indie books. They carry indie books. They like to support indie authors. So there is this other indie bookstore. It's like an indie romance bookstore that's very close to me. I think it's only like 10 minutes away, maybe 15. I actually think it's closer than Barnes & Noble is to me. And there's like 2 whole sections on their website. There's like a consignment section, which is basically when like I have to send them an arc of my book. You read it, see if it's even something that they like would fit their store's requirements, their store's vibe. They'll get back to you. And then consignment, basically you do it, it's like a trial period. So I'll give them maybe 4, I think they said between 3 and 6, so maybe 4 copies of my book. They'll put them in their stores, I think for I forgot what it was like 2 weeks or something. And then if they all sell out, or if they sell out well, or if they sell well period, they'll get back to me, and we'll kind of have a constant deal of me in little small chunks, because you gotta remember this is a smaller bookstore, this is not Barnes & Noble, but in just a few copies at a time, I will just keep giving it to them, and they'll sell it, and then I'll get, I think, 60 or 70% of the profit, so I'll get most of the royalties, and it'll be a nice little exchange. So that's consignment. And then there's also a separate section on their website that's for book signings specifically for indie authors, especially local authors. They love to host, and there's a form to fill out for that. So like they're making it seem so accessible, so easy. So if anything, that's not my second resort. I actually sort of kind of want to get into it more, because I feel like it'll be an easier like low-hanging fruit, and low-hanging fruit doesn't always mean bad. You know what I mean? So any little exposure helps, but I want to at least do 1 book signing sometime next year. And then my next goal is I want to be in a book box. Now I'm just like talking about so many marketing opportunities, but a book box is also known as a book subscription box. So I think Fairy Loot and Book of the Month I think are the most popular. I don't know, I've never actually bought one. That's just not my thing. I'm a very, very, very picky mood reader. I'm like actually the definition of a mood reader. I read whatever the heck I want in that moment, whatever my emotions are feeling like. So I just feel like with book boxes, it's just not worth it for me, at least, because I can't stick to a TBR. I don't want to read, like I want to read what I'm feeling in the moment. I just impulsive buy. It's kind of bad. But anyway, basically it's where like consumers, they pay a subscription every month or yearly, monthly, I don't know. And then it's like a surprise box that gets sent to them every month. It has a book. Usually there's a theme to a book box. I don't know. I feel like Book of the Month is just all genres. I could be wrong though. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I think Fairy Loot is fantasy, romantasy, that kind of thing. Again, could be wrong. I don't know too much about it. I've been trying to research in between different responsibilities, but basically they send that to you, and then there's like different goodies, different stickers and bookmarks and like cards and maybe even fan art from the author or something like that that goes along with the book. And then like you're technically getting the book and all that stuff for free because you're paying for the overall subscription box, and it's a surprise every month. There are a lot of boxes that do this for indie authors where I think they might pay you. So you, like me, as the indie author, I don't have to pay anything. They pay me to give books so that they can put it in their box, and they send it out. And then I think I'll need to pay a little out of pocket because they're probably going to ask me for some extra goodies, like the character art, which I do have character art actually, so that would be perfect. There's right now a pre-order incentive, but I'd be willing to use it as a book box incentive as well. But like character art, if there's like stickers or whatever. I feel like different book boxes are different from what I've heard. Some of them create everything, they just take it out of your royalty, so you're technically not paying anything out of pocket. Some of them, they fully expect you to like make everything, and then you just like give it to them, and then they are just the packagers, the distributors. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't have to pay too much out of pocket. I'm getting paid, and then my book is getting in these book boxes to these random subscribers of their business, so I'm expanding my audience. It's new people who've probably never heard of me. They're getting essentially a free copy of my book, free being a relative term, with like special stuff. They'll probably maybe post about it, which is more exposure for me. It's just a really kind of like golden opportunity as an indie author to get yourself out there. So it's something I definitely want to at least try. There's like an application process. I have a spreadsheet of I think 10 book box companies that I want to contact. I just haven't gone around to contacting them because everyone I've been emailing is ARC readers. Like ARCs have been my main focus lately, but definitely in the new year I want to reach out to them and hopefully be in at least one book box. And then my last goal is kind of a controversial goal. So if you are on Goodreads, if you ever have been on Goodreads, if you're a Goodreads user, you'll know that every book, and I think probably, I'm not a Storygraph or Fable user yet, but I'm pretty sure they have these too, a book has an average rating. Some people treat them like they hold the weight of the world, that if you have below a 3.5 rating, your book sucks. It's horrible. It's a piece of trash. Like, ew, get that away from me. But then some people, they will literally read a book that has like a 2.2 average rating, and they don't care. They're not really focused on what other people say. They're just like, it sounds cool. They saw something on Instagram. They saw an aesthetic graphic post. They saw a cool quote edit TikTok. They heard about it from a friend of a friend. Some people don't care as much as others, but at the end of the day, it's noticeable. There's no, especially on Goodreads. Again, I know, and I can't really speak for other platforms, but especially on Goodreads, and then Goodreads transfers to Amazon. So now on Amazon, when you look up a book, you could see the Amazon average star rating, what reviewers have given it on Amazon, but then it links to Goodreads. So for example, it'll say like 4.6 out of 5 stars on Amazon, and then below it, it'll be like 3.9 out of 5 on Goodreads. So there's no escaping Goodreads, I swear. And then on Goodreads, it's like really big. There's no avoiding it, and it just puts off a bad rap, kind of. This is embarrassing to say, but I think, most of y'all probably have Goodreads. A lot of y'all watching this have probably already read my last book. You've probably seen it. I currently have a 3.27 average star rating with The Blood That Divides Us. This is so freaking embarrassing, considering that basically 3.5 and below is what a lot of the bookish community considers bad. Which is why it's embarrassing, because I hate thinking about it. It really got ruined by a lot of the ARC reviews. If you look at the 1-star reviews, they're almost all ARC reviews. I'm not even kidding. I hand selected those ARC readers myself. So I kind of just was going for anyone at that point and not really being specific as to like if I think they would like it, and I think I just wanted the validation of someone reading my book. And anyway, I just picked the wrong people and I got like a flurry of bad reviews at the end. I get really insecure every time I log on to Goodreads and I look at it. It makes me feel like I failed. This is more of a personal goal, but I would like to have at least a 3.8 average rating. I know you're probably thinking 3.8, that's still kind of low, Marcelina. I'm gonna put up some popular books that are like popular book talk books that you probably at least know one of them that have a lowish similar average rating, just so you can see that like 3.8 actually isn't that bad. I would say for me a 3.8 to 3.9 is like my bare minimum. I don't really want to sink lower than that. But I feel like I'm thinking about some of my favorite books. I have this one book that I adore with my whole heart. It is one of the only books I've ever given 6 stars. And I think it only has like a 4.16 average rating on Goodreads. And it's popular. It's a very popular book talk book. But like, it only has 4.16. I would give it 10 stars with my life. Like, I feel like average ratings on Goodreads, it's so hard to get something that's high, depending on what you consider high. So, to me, 3.8 is a heck of a lot better than 3.20, 3.27 to be exact. Like, I just want to improve overall, honestly. And also, I feel like a lot of my other goals, if you've noticed, have been very, like, how do I say this? Like, exposure based. Like, I want to have this many sales. I want to make this much money. I want to do this, this, and this thing so that I could make more money, so that more people buy it. But I'm not necessarily talking about, like, the quality of the book or the success of the book or how the book is received. I'm not talking about that. I think that is worth noting. It doesn't matter if I have 1,000 people buy this book if 900 out of the 1,000, so 90% of them, hate it and give it a 1 or 2 star. What does it matter if I got all those people if they're all trash talking it? You know what I mean? I would rather have a group of 100 people read it and buy it, but they all love it, they all give it 4 or 5 stars, than 1,000 people reading it and buying it, even though that's more money, but they all give it 1 or 2 stars. I think having that average rating goal for myself definitely makes me reflect and think about the quality of the book. My writing hasn't improved already from the 2 reviews I've gotten. One of them, she hasn't read my other book yet, so she just said my writing was good. But then the other one actually has read my other book, and she said not only did she like it better, like enjoyability wise, but she thought the writing was better. So I think I'm already improving, I would like to say, but I want this to be reflected in reviews between the books. That is all for Labeled Innocent, Presumed Dead. I have 4 more goals. My next goal is to write a series. Yeah, you heard me right. I have been dwiddling and dandelining around, I don't know what I'm saying, in standalones for years. I think I mentioned this. Every single one of my books is a standalone. I've never, ever in my life, ever in my 16 years of life on this earth, written a series. Ever. I think it's too hard from both a, like, planning on my end perspective, but also a publishing perspective, because the problem with the series is that if you've noticed, if you've read any series, most of the time there's a year between them. That's hard to give an average because, like, ACOTAR, when did the last book come out again? 2021. Come on, Sarah. Like, I get it. I know she's busy and I think she's a kid, right? We've been waiting forever for ACOTAR 6. That's why I think we all need it, because she just finished the first draft this summer. She announced it, but like, we've been waiting. I know Jennifer Lynn Barnes for sure has been consistent. I swear that lady doesn't sleep. She drops like 2 or 3 books every year. It's kind of wild. But like, publishing a series is hard because already you kind of have to have at least a year gap, because it takes me anywhere from, I would say, 8 to 9 months to write and publish a book, start to finish. The Blood That Divides Us, it was very, very quick. I mean, that's why it wasn't like a huge hit, because it literally took me 6 months start to finish. This book I've definitely taken my time with. It'll be officially a full year. I started planning and coming up with the idea in February 2025 this year, and then I'm publishing February 2026. So it's a full 12 months. But like, books take time, so you can't, there's no way, except for maybe for Jennifer Lynn Barnes, you could publish 2 books, like the 2 books in a series in 1 year. That's like really, really hard. So I would have to wait a year. But like, the thing is with standalones, you start them, you finish them. 300, 400 pages later, they're done. People could write a review, they could feel satisfied. Not that they could forget. They'll always keep a character in their hearts, especially if they're really attached to them. But they could just move on and read another book the next day. But with series, you gotta keep that same reader pool and be like, hey guys, there's a new book. Hey guys, don't forget about me. Hey, don't forget about this book that you just read. It's coming out next year. Otherwise, you will never have as successful as a release as the very first book as you move along the series. And I think why I also like standalones is that marketing-wise, there's more opportunities. You're just marketing one book. You're just saying, read this one book. With a series, when let's say the second book comes out in March, come March, you can't market that book, if that makes sense. Because readers are not, unless it's an interconnected standalone series, which is a different monster, you can't market that book. You have to market book 1, which is how they get into the series. I don't know if this is making sense. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it's just really hard to market and really hard to make sure readers don't forget about you or that series. Otherwise, the rest of your books are going to be a flop. Book 1 could be good, but then you're going to get like no sales for the rest of your books if you don't make sure that you keep those same readers and you keep in contact with them and you make sure that they know, which kind of means you have to have a release date by the time book 1 comes out, which is hard to figure out and pinpoint so ahead of time. But it's really complicated, and especially as a self-published indie author, like it's already hard enough for me to get people to buy my books as it is. So trying to make them remember just sounds like torture, which is why I think I've avoided it. But I want to try it. I feel like I've gotten quite a few compliments of people telling me that I'd be really good at it, that I should try it, like from fellow writers. Okay, here's the thing. Don't expect a series from me. I'm definitely going to publish one more book before I graduate high school. So in the next year to 2 years, I'm definitely publishing at least one more book. Don't necessarily expect it to be a series. I'm going to document it. I'm going to vlog it. We will see how it goes. But I think my plan is just I'm going to try it and we're going to see how it goes. Okay? I'm not promising to publish it. I just want to at least try writing a series. And if it's good, if I have a good plan for it, then I'll figure out some marketing thing. We'll deal with it. But I just feel like I want to at least say I've tried writing a series. And if nothing else, if it ends up being a flop and I decide I don't want to go through the hassle of publishing it because it's going to be too hard to market, at least through writing, I'll have grown my writing muscle and gained a little bit more writing experience. Because every book you write helps your writing skills, your writing style, just helps you become a stronger and better writer. So if nothing else, I'll just get more experience and more knowledge, and it won't be a complete waste of time. But I do want to at least try to write or plan or do something to propel myself in the right direction. Okay, and that kind of leads into my next point. I want to write 100,000 words this year. Well, next year, technically. Like I said, I was very close this year. I wrote 94,212 words. I want to hit 100K. And I think this is doable because, one, it doesn't matter what it's from. It doesn't necessarily have to be from this supposed series that I'm thinking of doing. It could literally just be if I end up writing a standalone and that's what I'm going to publish. It could be from that. I don't really care, but I just totally want to write 100K words. By the way, I don't count schoolwork. when I say words, I mean like from a creative project. I've written so many essays. Like I'm in a college level like AP. It's called AP Seminar. It's like a test program across the US, but it's like a college level English writing presentation class. And I would say we've been doing a big project the last month. I would say I've already written like 10 or 15,000 words just in the last month alone in that class. I would never count that toward this. This is just for like creative writing, fiction project stuff. So I want to write 100,000 words of something. And again, this could be, I have a main whip, whether that's the series, whether that's a standalone, whatever it is. But whatever, I want to try to at least have a side project that'll help take my word count up a little bit. And hopefully I can get some words from there. But I just want to write more. I want to write more than just what I want to publish, if that makes sense. That way I'm getting a little bit more experience between published books so that by the time I write my next book, that will be my next published book, the writing will be a little bit stronger because I've been practicing with other books, therefore writing a lot more words. And who knows, maybe if I do write a series and let's say I write 2 books next year and they're both 80,000 words each, it's 160,000 words right there. And then my next one is put a book, up for pre-order. Again, this could be the series that I'm talking about. This could not be the series I'm talking about. And by the way, if it seems like I have an idea for the series, I don't really. I have a very, very loose idea, but the thing about me is I cannot work on multiple books at the same time. I just can't. So I'm really trying to lock in with Labeled Innocent, Presumed Dead and really try to make sure that I pour my full heart and time and energy into marketing that, getting arcs, getting all the stuff that I said for my earlier goals, book signing and book boxes and stuff like that. I want to pour all my energy into that. If I start letting myself think about another book idea, I'm going to be hyper fixated and obsessed with it, and I'm going to think about that 24/7, and I'm not going to want to do anything with this current book. So I'm going to just I'm gonna wait for Labeled Innocent Presumed Dead to release, and then I'm gonna start thinking about it. But I have a loose outline of something in my head. I haven't written it down or anything, I haven't talked about it, I just have a little something that I'm thinking about, but we'll see. But whether I do end up publishing that series or just a standalone, I want to have, by this time next year, I want to have something that I could be like, hey y'all, XYZ book is up for pre-order. Whether it's coming out in April 2027 or February 2027 again, I just want to end the year with some book on pre-order, some plans for publication for 2027, because there's no way I'm publishing a book in 2026. No way. But I could at least start that process and start doing pre-orders and like have a publication date. I think is a more realistic goal for 2027, but have that date in 2026. That would be perfect. And then my last goal for 2026 is I want to hit 2,000 YouTube subscribers. This is probably the one that's like, oh, what the heck? This is a little bit crazy of me. Because some of you may be thinking, well, Marcelina, you hit 1,000 subscribers in 2025. You just have to do that again. No. Because the thing is, I did not start my channel this year. I started my channel June or July of last year. I might have a screenshot because I like to take screenshots every now and then of my progress, so I can just kind of like have documentation of what month I was at what subscribers. But I want to say I entered 2025 with 500 subscribers. I'll put the closest screenshot I could find, but I want to say it was like around 490 or 500 coming into January 2025. So what I'm trying to say, I'm currently at the moment at 1,095 subscribers. So I would say roughly I've gained almost 600 subscribers basically this year, which, don't get me wrong, is still absolutely amazing. But basically I've gained 600 this year roughly, and I've been working my butt off, posting like 4 to 5 edits a week, posting a weekly vlog. Let's just assume we're at 1,100 right now, just to make the math easy. 1,100 to 2,000 is 900. So I gained 600 subs this year, and I'm trying to gain 900 basically next year. The only bit of like logical reasoning I have for that is that I do have what'll hopefully be a bigger release than The Blood That Divides Us coming out in February. And I remember I gained so many subscribers when The Blood That Divides Us came out. Oh my gosh. I low-key probably gained like 100 just right there between like end January, early February because of that release. I'm thinking if the release of Labeled Innocent Presumed Dead goes as well as I'm hoping with like arc exposure, and if it does get into certain things, and if a booktuber or multiple booktubers review it, and then that'll hopefully bring in more subscribers if they happen to tag me in anything. I'm hoping that the release, I'll gain a lot of what I need from that, and that'll just kind of help me in that. Hopefully the algorithm will help. Don't get me wrong, I will be so over the moon happy with 1,500 subscribers or a random 1,720 subscribers. But like, I love the milestones, I love the even numbers. So like 1K was my accomplishment this year, so I want to hit an even 2K next year. And again, I think knowing the circumstances, knowing what I have coming up next, I feel like it's not that unrealistic. I don't know, maybe I'm just being delulu. But yeah, anyway, those are my 2026 goals. That's everything I plan to do. It's crazy, I know. It's like overwhelming, I know. It's like, how are you gonna get this done? If you're invested now and you're like, I want to see if this girl makes her goals, can she do it? She sounds a little overconfident here, a little ambitious, a little overambitious. Like, I don't know if she's gonna be able to do all this. Go ahead and subscribe to me. Stay tuned. Keep up with my channel regularly to find out, because even though I probably won't be giving a full update, like I'll be reacting to this video that you're watching right now around this time next year and like giving you the full update, I do weekly vlogs. So a lot of this stuff, a lot of my 2026 stuff in terms of sales, how release goes as a whole, any of the like extra marketing opportunities, I'll be vlogging those. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for making 2025 such a productive, fulfilling, satisfying year as an author, but also as a person. Like, I am someone who, I'm very insecure, I'm very awkward, like, I don't want to say in real life, like this, I'm not a video game character, but like, you know, in my personal life, I live in kind of a small town, so everyone's very cliquey. It's just very, like, if we haven't known you since elementary school, we don't want to talk to you kind of thing. So I found an amazing friend group now. I shout out to them. I love them to pieces. The entire last year, like the first half of 2025 and like all of 2024, I was so lonely, bro. I was so excluded. Everyone's like purposely excluding me and being mean to me. It's just hard to finally find a community where like, not only do you guys like accept me for myself, but also like you love writing and you get it and you're here and you understand it. You understand all of my language and what I'm yapping about half the time. Like, it means the world to me that you want to take a chance on me. This year has quite literally changed my life because the most has happened in terms of my writing author career, I guess you would say, up and coming career. Like, I don't even know what to say. I published a book. I wrote a book's on pre-order. I'm publishing it in 2 months. Like, it's crazy. I've made so many friends, and I sincerely pray and hope from the bottom of my heart that 2026 is a better year for you. So, happy holidays. Happy New Year. I love you guys so much, and I will see you all in the next video in 2026, next year, very, very soon. Bye!